Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to today's video. I'm Chris here with Elevate Cafe. It is the 6th of January. We'll take a look at the markets. Futures are about to open here in about a minute. Let's see how they go. They continue to try to push this market higher as we're beginning the new year. And the S&P, I think, has a new all-time closing high. On the left, you're looking at the weekly time frames. On the right, I have my dailies, and they're continuing to kind of build on top of each other. I showed the wave counts yesterday. I'm looking for that fifth wave. We'll see how far this will travel and kind of how it's going to go. I we'll definitely get some shakeouts this year. I don't think this is a market that's gonna shoot straight up to the moon. We'll see, but I still have kind of some worries and some indicators here that are telling me to continue to be cautious and hedged. But the market, it's still very resilient. You can see how on the Russell, after a nice three-wave setback, they tried to rally and they took the top of, let's call it the B wave top. That is a signal to buy the market. If we do fail back below 25.50, I would probably get out of that trade. If anybody wants to long it here, that's kind of the signal after a B wave, short of a next wave or something else happening in here. We'll see, but that's kind of the signal that the Russell it's sending in here. The small caps, right? They continue to act nicely, and after the correction here they continue to look pretty decent. The Dow Jones, look at the weekly, we're trading 49,766 on the futures. They're probably going to want to hit that 50k mark. It's probably going to be all over the news, right? Dow 50,000. I remember when it was back Dow 10,000, right? That was fun. And again, that came after a three-wave setback here, just above that 50-day moving average. The weakest of them all remains the Russell, which still struggles. You can look at the mags, and they're still, not acting that well. Nvidia, out of them all, it's still a market that is that it's just seems to be struggling to get any sort of traction. After on the weekly chart, we had a major failure up here into 2012 into to 12. We got a big kind of bearish engulfing candle, and since then it's just been going sideways. I think I've counted about 10 weeks since we've created a stop, and Nvidia is still a market that's not very fun. Is this some kind of a flat in an ABC? We'll see. But if we start to lose back 175, 177 in here, things could start to look ugly. And if that happens with Nvidia, I don't think that the rest of the market will be able to just kind of continue to go. There's a bunch of rotation. I agree. There's things that work, but as a negative here, I'm looking at Nvidia. I am just not happy with the way it's acting. Obviously, Tesla, it had a pretty big failure up here. You went up this week, then this week, and then you spend the next couple of weeks just completely raising what you've done, and now you're coming back lower. They're not doing well on the fundamentals either, I guess, on on their sales and stuff. So, that's a tricky one. Apple, it's heading down, broke below the 50-day moving average, and it's a pretty severe sell-off in here. Netflix is not really um, doing well ever since it broke above a major moving average in here, and it continues to kind of trend lower. Google, not much there. I guess maybe we had a little bit of a move from Amazon. Palantir, it's still fairly weak. Uh, so you can see if you look at the mags, right? They're not really. So something else is driving. Maybe there's some financials. Maybe there's some industrials. There's still pretty heavy moves in some of these. Stuff like MU and SanDisk and WDC, and there's a pocket of the market that's still kind of shooting fairly strong upwards. But you know, uh, listen, if you're in those stocks, you're probably feeling great. If you're in stocks that don't perform, it's not the whole market. So very interesting. Let's see what else we have to look at. Bitcoin, it is Yesterday we went up and hit that 50-day moving average. We got rejected. I'm afraid it's a corrective move. You know, so again, like I said yesterday, I don't want to repeat a lot, but it's just not acting that well. Even with today's strength in the market, Bitcoin did not do a whole lot. The RSI here on the daily, it's coming up into the 60. Usually, when you come from below 40 and you go into the 60, that's usually a level to sell with a downtrend. You got to be careful though. So it's again, we need to see more from the cryptos. They're still, and I don't like what happened in XRP. XRP, I know it had a huge move here from 185 to 242, but these types of moves, they're very shady. So, the market needs time to turn, and this one just turned in a couple of candles. I don't know. I think we're gonna probably come back lower or digest this move, give a chance for the moving averages to catch up, turn. I think there's a lot more that needs to happen here. There's probably some news that I'm not aware of, what have you, but I'm not gonna look at this and say yes. Ripple, it's gonna go to $4 now because of these couple of days. No, I don't think that's how that works. So, listen, I'm looking at the dollar. It wants to stage some kind of a comeback in here, but not strong enough just yet. Silver, amazing again. It went, and I think it made maybe on the cash market. Well, it did make a new closing daily high, new daily closing high at about 81, 81.40. So, after a quick sell off back into 70, we're back up at the highs. Apparently, the positioning is not even that short, it's not even that long either. So, from that aspect, there's probably more to go. And truthfully, from a wave count perspective, as I've showed before, there is more to go there, more subdivisions. But I do think that maybe the heaviest part of the move have been already made. So we'll see if it's going to get harder from here on out. Oil, people were maybe expecting something in this market to happen, with the Venezuela, but nothing. The oil market doesn't care, and it's just still very weak. So I don't have a lot of trade ideas. I haven't done much. So, I'm continuing to, just kind of watch, and I truthfully don't really trust these moves in the market at the moment. Maybe I just need to kind of get my head checked in here a little bit. But it's, it's tricky. I still see defensive moves in a lot of the things that I'm watching. Okay, now price has to agree. Price has to start to act weaker in here to kind of agree with that. But it looks like Wall Street, it is moving a little bit away from the growth. There's still some trades from last year in some of the stocks I've mentioned that are still running, and I think those are in some type of a fifth waves continuing, and who knows how long they'll go. But those are no areas to be involved in after they've had humongous moves already. And a bunch of the stocks in the miners and stuff like that in the metals, they're quite extended. So I don't even know which areas of the market are worth looking into it. But opportunities will come and will be there. Just for right now, I continue to kind of choose to just kind of watch and just kind of be careful. One of the stocks I've been pounding the table on was Kava, and this one, it's been coming very nicely back here into 68. Um, Pretty good move, because it's been, as the market has been struggling, Kava has been coming back very nicely, but it's hitting a heavy zone of supply. So I would probably be careful here with it. SoFi, yesterday it had a lot of weekly distribution in here, and yesterday almost looked like you wanted to do, and today they failed back on pretty heavy volume. So I would be very careful with SoFi. in here. This looks very corrective, and I think there's probably going to be some further downside. Like I said, if you look at WDC, I mean, this has been just a straight up move. Look at these guy, right, from 30 to 21. The volume on this kind of latest leg higher, it's not as good, but it's still in a pretty good uptrend. It just looks like, what it's doing in here, it's blowing up, and those are dangerous. SNDK, we had a large volume selling right there, and it just kind of consolidated sideways, did not give a lot back, but when you see the initial sell, and then you can see the market trying and again at the highs from people that have missed this rally and they're buying into this consolidation. They're coming in late. And it's a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. I mean, who, who would who in any who in their right state of mind would purchase SanDisk the way this chart looks? I don't know, but they're there, and either they're continuing to bid it higher in here and just attract late buyers before they crash it back down. But something weird is happening in here, and I don't want to be part of it. If anything, I'm really tempted to press shorts on it, but the market obviously has to agree, and see if it's show me some kind of a failure from these levels. So again, like I said, even Palantir, it's below that 50-day moving average. So I'm watching the other one. There's another one that's what CN. Even this guy, it kind of shook a bunch of people off yesterday. It reversed today, but it's in a pretty long stretch, if you ask me, here on the weekly, and just looking at the volume. So, the other one there was another one that was kind of a high flyer. Let me see. I think it's, Light, LIT. Look at this guy too. And I'm going to go on the weeklies, right? Coming from 51 all the way to 400. Pretty low volume in the last couple of weeks of December, just stalling, but we didn't get a lot of heavy volume selling. They did sell it quite heavily, but right into that 20-day moving average, and I have a feeling these are going to start to curl back. So the market is trying to form a top in these, and these are going to be I'm going to get very heavy short onto these once they start showing signs of weakness. So that's kind of where my head is at, just going after some of these high flyers. Well, futures have opened. They're kind of flat. Nothing really jumps out at me. But again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Then I'll be in California over the rest of the week starting Thursday, and I'll come back the following Monday. I probably won't have a video next Monday, but starting Tuesday I'll try to put them back up. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.